Good evening and welcome into Stone Stadium for the season opener for Gamecock men's soccer right here on Student Gamecock Television. I'm Spencer Ball. He's JP Barry. And JP, how excited are we to get this thing going?
Yeah, I know. It's two teams from South Carolina with feeling like they got something to prove this year after both had kind of disappointing 2023 campaigns. The Winthrop Eagles of the Big South Conference and South Carolina of the Sun Belt. Now, for those not familiar with college soccer, you might hear the Sun Belt and think, South Carolina and the Sun Belt, what's going on here? But the Sun Belt, a very strong conference, something we'll talk about later, of course, as the game goes on. But, yeah, South Carolina, it's a make-or-break year, Spencer. They've got a lot of additions.
They should do a lot of additions. 19 new players coming onto this team this season, returning only 5 starters from last year and a couple guys that didn't play due to injury. But for the most part, we're looking at a completely new team here. Tonight they'll be donned in the white uniforms. And Stone Stadium, it's a packed environment, and it's going to be a good matchup between these two teams who, historically, every matchup has gone in the favor of the Gamecocks.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they lead 9-0 all time in the series. They were playing last year. It got canceled due to field conditions from a storm. And so the 10th all-time meeting between the Eagles, just right down the road from Rock Hill, South Carolina, down here to Columbia. Two great teams. But prior to these little stretch of games where they started in 2020, they've scored 4 goals in every game the Gamecocks have against Winthrop. They hadn't played since 2004, and a lot has changed for these programs since 2004. The Gamecocks, members of the Conference USA back then. College soccer, it's an interesting world compared to the conference alignment I'm sure many people are used to in Gamecock athletics and college sports in general. But it's really been a great transition from Conference USA to the Sun Belt in terms of the competition. And you know, down the line, as we're doing all games this season, home games, I should say, we'll be going up against some of the best teams in college soccer. Next week, we have the big dog, the preseason #1 defending national champions coming to town. But Spencer, yeah, just two, you know, evenly matched in terms of recent history, I guess.
I would say, and also, you know, two teams that are very young. Brought in a lot from the transfer portal, so each team dealing with a lot of new pieces, just trying to get some momentum going in this early season. And, you know, especially for South Carolina, it's trying to get a little bit better at converting. They had a lot of opportunities last year, not able to convert as well as they would have liked, but they've kind of completely retooled their attacking unit. So, I mean, I think it's going to be good to see. They've got a whole new cast of goalkeepers coming in, so there's a lot of changes, but still some key guys that hold it down. And with just a couple minutes left, I think we're going to get you guys the starting lineups before we get into the game. So, without further ado, starting for the Gamecocks tonight in goal, it's Philip Vistier. In defense, Andrew Goldsworthy, along with Junior St. Just. In the midfield, it's Micah Habel, Ethan Ballack, Sebastian Revenlow, Jonah Bigar, Camden Kowalski, as well as Alejandro Velasquez-Lopez. And in attack, it's Harrison Myring, joined with the true freshman, Gabe Nickerson. JP, tell us a little bit about the Winthrop Golden Eagles.
Well, for their goalkeeper, they got Jack Killstrom. On the defense, you got Boris Getty and Sam Pigeon. Midfielder, you got Diamario Adamson. At forward, you have Ricardo Ferreira. Your midfielder, again, Jacob James. Defenseman, Lindo Zimba. Bruno Rivera Sagrero is another forward, as you have there. And then your defenseman, Diego Candia, Emery Critchlow, and Sodai Kaketsu. As we go to the national anthem here.
We'll mute our mics. Be right back. And we're back here at Stone Stadium. JP, one thing the Gamecocks did well last year is they've done it the last couple of years, attendance.
Yeah, you know, they led the country in cumulative attendance, second in average, and it's a pretty packed house here today in Columbia. It's the first varsity sporting event of this 2024 fall semester. Classes started on Tuesday, and, you know, a lot of people just excited to come out here and experience some Gamecock sports. This is, you know, the one angle we have. It's a radio-style broadcast, so if you don't like the look of us,
hopefully you at least like the way we sound. You know, we can do our best on that front.
We hope we can describe soccer in a adequate manner for your consumption. As Winthrop's going to be in the maroon, all maroon with the yellow numbers, Gamecocks in the home whites with the garnet name and numbers.
And you know, JP, it's typical Columbia outside. It's a very hot day. You know, it's a little hot in here, but there's at least a little bit of shade on at least half the field, kind of cutting it in half. So it's going to be nice. And of course, as it gets later and later, of course, we'll see some shade, more shade. Set over the field, and should get started here in a second. But again, this one's going to be a really fun one. And what we haven't talked about yet is it's Tony Annan in his 4th year here as Gamecock head coach, only the 2nd coach in program history, following behind a legend.
Yeah, you know, the Gamecocks under Mark Burson, they were outstanding, truly. They made the NCAA tournament 22 times, including a runner-up appearance against Virginia in 1993. But the Gamecocks, they haven't made the tournament since 2016. They haven't had a winning record since 2020, which was the last season under Coach Barrison. And that was coincidentally also the last season over 500 for South Carolina. They went 8-7-1. And so they're looking to get back to that. They haven't won the league since they joined the Sun Belt, just with 3 CUSA championships and a Metro championship back in the day when the Metro Conference was a thing. They spent a lot of time as an independent. But, you know, now the Gamecocks in this new era of college sports just looking to put it on for South Carolina, especially for a state where soccer has really kind of exploded in popularity. We saw the professional teams from England playing over at Williams-Brice over the summer. Clemson has become one of the greatest programs in the country as of late. And now it's the Gamecocks' turn to really kind of catch up.
It sure is. And under Annan, they've kind of been trending upward every year. Again, not a super high trend, but they've gotten better every single year. And one thing they did, they performed very admirably against top 25 teams last year. You know, they beat UCF in the conference tournament last season. They played some other ranked teams really close. They fell to West Virginia 3-2. So, you know, they can hang with the big dogs, but haven't quite been able to take that step and get to consistently beating them, or, you know.
And, you know, like I said, they'll have plenty of opportunities here. Speaking of this Sun Belt Conference, the Gamecocks were picked to finish 6th in the preseason poll by the coaches. But everybody else ahead of them in the preseason poll of the Sun Belt is either ranked or receiving votes in the top 25, the coaches poll there. We'll touch on some future opponents for the Gamecocks, though, as play is about to get underway here. Both sides, you know, having their final little meetings, getting huddled up. Very excited. I'd hate to be one of the flankers or wingers on that third of the field there because it is going to be hot. It was hot earlier today. At least we have a breeze and we're in the shade here, like you mentioned. But running around in Columbia heat ain't no joke.
Sure won't. I mean, luckily we are in the shade now. You know, our walk here, you know, is enough to get us already sweating. But as you mentioned, we're going to get underway here soon. And, I mean, we're just excited, man. And we'll be able to give you a little bit more information as the teams actually take the field. It's listed a little bit weird. You know, we expected, you know, maybe a 3 or 4 in the back, but on the roster, there's only 2 defensemen listed for the Gamecocks. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fill out that back third, if there's going to be more midfield help defensively, or if they will, you know, end up dropping some more guys back. But, JP, we're excited. And how else would you get a South Carolina sporting event underway than a little bit of sandstorm?
Yeah, you know, there's just really no other way to do it, as we're about to have the official start of the 2024 men's soccer season here in Columbia. And what better way to get underway between 2 teams from the Palmetto State?
That's right. It's going to be Ricardo Ferreira for Winthrop on the ball here. It's the 45-minute clock. Well, that's what we'll wait for. We'll wait for the official start.
Yeah, you know, working in, you know, production and stuff, it's always difficult to kind of, you know, get everybody set up and ready to.
That's right. Ricardo Ferreira Kicks it back, and we are underway. Winthrop kicks it deep down into the attacking third. It's going to be a foul called as early on we have a collision there. It'll take just a second to see who's down. It's going to be Jonah Begar going down, a little shaken up as well as a Winthrop player. The clock will stop. Begar a little shaken up, but he's up and walking.
Well, that's one way to start off a season. A pretty fast start for Winthrop, and then it was just crushed in their attacking third as they tried to, pass it into the box. He just got leveled.
Yeah, that was Embry Critchlow. They're off the kickoff with a long through ball, trying to get over the head of Begar, but nothing doing there. Lining up to take this free kick is Diamario Adamson, probably from about 25, 30 yards out. Not sure if he'll try for a goal here against the new goalie for the Gamecocks, Philip Vistier. But we'll see if he swings in across. As you know, we got to get a little low to see under the window here,
yeah.
But we're doing our athletics.
There's no such thing as shame here.
And the whistle's blown. Adamson goes up to take it. He launches it into the box. It's headed away by the Gamecocks. And Juste kicks it off a Golden Eagle player, and it's out for a goal kick. The Gamecocks are going to be working right to left here in the first half. Winthrop, of course, the opposite, left to right. JP, again, we can't talk about how packed this place is. I mean, even the standing room. That's right.
There's some chairs set up on the opposite side of the pitch there by the training facility, right under the scoreboard, which is a pretty nice scoreboard, all things considered.
Churis keeps track of a couple stats for us. Can't be mad at that. As Vistier kicks it over to Begar, who's got it. They get it towards the middle third. It's Velasquez Lopez. Back to Begar. He loses it here. On the near touchline, it's going to be a throw-in for the Golden Eagles. Critchlow has it. And they'll look to set up once more.
And that's something that, Winthrop is really going to have to work on this season. They struggled mightily offensively in the low hundreds, mid to low hundreds.
Sure does. Adamson loses that one. Looks like he took someone down, but no call just yet. Velasquez Lopez pass goes errant as Myring slipped. Gamecocks win the ball back, and they'll look to enter the attacking third for the first time. It's a nice pass there from Ballack. He gets it back from Lopez on the left wing here, looking to cross one in. It's deflected. It should go out for a corner there, JP. A nice piece of quick movement there from the Gamecocks.
Yeah, Ethan Ballack, he played really well there. That was a 6-foot junior out of Virginia Tech. The transfer, like we said in the pregame, the transfer portal additions already paying off dividends for the Gamecocks.
That's right, and it was a little 1-2 with him and Velasquez Lopez just to get that ball down. And just like that, the Gamecocks have their first corner kick of the night and the first one on the game so far. Lopez is going to take it. He swings it in. It's collected well there from Killstrom. So that was a little bit dangerous, but a nice claim from him. And he looks to start the attack with a long throw, but it's just out of reach there from Riverone Sagrero. Nice pursuit there from Nickerson to kind of push him out of bounds and make sure he couldn't get a hold of that ball.
Yeah, that was really kind of our first showing of schematic differences between these teams. The Gamecocks ranked 33rd in the country in corner kicks per game last season. Winthrop, very much not that. They try to stay away from the corner.
The Gamecocks have a throw in. They'll work it back. It's Vistier with it. He finds unfortunate pass there as Winthrop almost got a big break on a bad one. The Gamecocks will kick it out of bounds. Winthrop regains possession. Kind of waiting for this game to settle down a little. Right now it's
pre-game nerves.
Yeah.
It's the first game of the season for everybody.
That's right.
Including us.
Even for us, yeah, that's very important. Critchlow for the throw for the Golden Eagles. He gets it up to Riverone Sagrero. He tries to move it back and does, as it was Ballack in pursuit. Almost got his foot to it, but it's in the Golden Eagle defense. So they're passing it around the back. This time it's Zimba with it on the near side. He'll go for a deep ball. Nothing doing there. Vistier calls off the rest of the defense and collects it in the 18-yard box.
Early stages of this one, both teams really feeling each other out, trying to do too much or trying not to do too much and put their team at a giant disadvantage.
That's right.
By gifting the other team a scoring chance early.
And Revenlow look for a deep through ball there, but a nice stop there from the Golden Eagles. They'll retain possession now in the middle third. And they will call a foul on Micah Habel there. It looks like he made a nice tackle there on Adamson, but referee disagreed. It's a foul. Quick little free kick for the Golden Eagles. It's down to Zimba again on our near side touch line as they'll pass it around back. Ciego Candia with it. just looking to buy themselves a little bit of space. Back to Zimba. He gets it over to Ferreira this time. First time we've called out his name since the opening kick. Gamecocks kind of heavily pursuing this ball right now.
Yeah, and, Winthrop playing a nice game of keep away, just passing it back and forth, back and forth. They're not trying to, like I said, overextend themselves, make a poor pass, and lead to a great scoring chance for South Carolina.
Absolutely. Candia launches a long ball there as it went all the way back to Killstrom. Vistier is going to come out and collect it, as that was Sodine Kakatsu all the way up at the front, but he didn't really have any chance there.
No, but it was a valiant effort nonetheless. That was one of those Hail Marys.
Yeah, we've seen Winthrop kind of go for that long kick, trying to get it over the heads of the Gamecock defense, a run in behind, but
yeah, I mean, and that's probably, as they're sitting back there, they're passing it back and forth. They're just trying to, lull you in and then hit you over the top. It's like the play action in the other football.
Yes. Yeah, you might hear some of that tonight, but we do what we can. It's going to be a throw-in for the Gamecocks on the far touchline. Looks like it's going to be Camden Kowalski taking it, the redshirt junior. Throws it in, but finds no one as Winthrop with a nice interception there. It's back to Candia and the central defender. So Winthrop seemed to be playing 2 at the back today. The 3 at the back. Gamecocks only opting for 2, and maybe they'll shift back and play a third. Kind of just depends on the shape of the game, as they're just passing it around back. Goes all the way back to Killstrom again. Sam Pigeon now pushing it into the midfield. Errant pass, and it's going to be intercepted by the Gamecocks. They have possession now. Looking to enter the attacking third, Velasquez Lopez. He finds his man, still in the midfield. It's going to be Jonah Begar, and they'll work it back to Goldsworthy, just taking their time, looking for the pass they want. Back to the near side, it's Begar. He finds Micah Habel. He loses control of it. Nice interception there from Critchlow. Nice attack here from Winthrop. They've got space here on the near side, but doesn't find it to Jacob James. He would have had Riveron Guerrero kind of on this near side.
Yeah, that was
nice
a
play.
good play by Seguero. He just, couldn't get it back to him.
That's right. Now we've got Zimba with it on the near side. A nice pass into Ferreira. He tried to flick it on to Critchlow on the near side. Just got way too much on it.
Ended up in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, that's, trying to do something a little cheeky. Didn't quite do it. Begar's got it now. He throws it in. Gamecock gets ahead to it, but nothing doing as Adamson regains possession and passes it out to Zimba. It's a nice play as it'll go all the way back to Killstrom and the defensive third. Sam Pigeon with it now. Myring in pursuit. Winthrop will let the ball go through, but it goes all the way through to Andrew Goldsworthy for the Gamecocks. Just like that, they have possession and looking to build something up here. No shots on goal yet. No shots, period, so far, but again, just trying to work their chances.
Yeah, that's something, last season, neither of these teams shot the ball very much and didn't shoot it on goal even fewer times. And you'd think that after a season of struggling to score as much as they did, maybe they'll change it up. But right now, first game of the season, just feeling each other out.
It's a battle for possession there on the far touchline. The Gamecocks will have it go their way as the official signals. But again, one thing to note, it seems like whenever the goalies have the ball, they come out, play it with their feet, and it's Winthrop and the Gamecocks, both in heavy pursuit, trying to take the ball from them as the Gamecocks now have it in the attacking third. It's all the way over near side to Gabe Nickerson. He's got it. He looks for the through ball there to Myring, but a good deflection from Critchlow. It's now Revenlow all the way up to St. Juste. In the far side. He's fighting relentlessly over there, but he is stripped of the ball. Winthrop ball is still now kind of calm down to quell that attack.
But that was a very promising possession. I mean, as you saw there, that third and pass almost got through for what would have been an A1 scoring opportunity. And that's really going to be kind of how I think South Carolina wants to attack this in their attacking third.
It was Harrison Myring who's trying to get in behind, but Critchlow with a really good tackle there to stop that ball from getting to him. Candia's got it now for the Golden Eagles. They're passing around back, but again, the Gamecocks will take possession from him. That's Ethan Ballack on the far side. He's still got it. Gets it over to Revenlow in the midfield. He passes it forward to Myring. Loses control, and it's cleared by Winthrop. Begar goes all the way back. Vistier will call him off. Gamecocks will look to try again, pierce the armor of this Winthrop defense.
Yeah, and this is where we're starting to see the adjustments come in. Normally, or at the start of the game, Winthrop was sitting back, and the Gamecocks were letting them pass it back and forth. They're on their back line, and now they're coming up, and they're attacking them, and they're getting the ball.
Giving them a lot less time to think, as there's Velasquez-Lopez looking for one, and Winthrop, again, just has to kind of send it down. But the nice piece of offense there, a good tackle from Camden Kowalski, as that was Riverone Sagrero. He's been kind of the Golden Eagles' main man up front so far tonight. Him and Ferreira working a little 1-2, but nothing doing thanks to a nice tackle.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really been, as we can see, South Carolina, they're trying to set stuff up kind of in a structure with a lot of massive bodies and then throwing it through. Winthrop's trying to get out and run, as we've seen them try to dump it over the heads of South Carolina's players. And, that one, their most dangerous opportunity yet. But like you said, Kowalski just absolutely smothering that chance.
Adamson has it now in the final third. Good defense there from Gamecock defender. We'll see who that was. It's Revenlow. Really nice play there from him. He kicks it out to Kowalski. And I think you're right. I think Winthrop is going to look for the counterattack a lot. St. Just sends it all the way down the right side. Running for it is Myring. He slides in, but Killstrom, the nice aggressive goalkeeping play there to win the ball. It would have been dangerous to let Myring have that in some space.
Yeah, absolutely. And a good job by the Gamecocks getting on the attack after the foul by Diamario Anderson.
Oh, Velasquez-Lopez has it, but a good tackle from Winthrop will stop the attack as he had a man through on goal, but couldn't quite get it there. Micah Habel with a nice tackle there to win the ball back. Gamecocks, they'll just reset, bring it back to their defensive end, which is now pushed up all the way, so they're bringing that line up, trying to just press that attack. Kowalski with it now. Back to Goldsworthy, who's been the central defender so far today. It's over now to Nickerson all the way down on the near touchline. He takes on a defender, He's all the way in the 18-yard box. Shot on goal. Save. Killstrom. Another one from Ballack. It's blocked by a defender. Micah Habel this time sails over the net. And there was our first couple shots.
Yeah, I mean, it came in a flurry, and that's not what Coach Anden is going to want to see after, they talked so much about generating chances and finishing them. You generate a chance and you shoot it right into the midst of the goalkeeper. But, getting a chance like that so early, a flurry of chances as you got the rebound, I think you'll live with that.
You sure will, as it was Gabe Nickerson, the freshman. As the long ball's played through, it's going to be Rivero Sagrero. He tries to play it into the box. He does. And that's Kaketsu. Kind of on a falling finish, just sends it over the bar. Nothing doing there, but it is Winthrop's first real chance of the game. Going back to the Gamecocks, as that was much more of a promising piece of attack than that. They had the ball. Nickerson with a good job getting in the box. He played it back to Ballack. Just couldn't really place it too well, but a good save from Killstrom.
Absolutely, and on this end of things, Sagrero and Kaketsu are two players. I mean, we've mentioned their names a lot. They're really active on the attacking third. They're starting to link up, as you can see there, and they were just out of sync a little bit, but maybe as the game goes on, they'll start to kind of sync up together.
Velasquez-Lopez, beautiful through ball to the far side to St. Just, just out of reach is Killstrom. Dives on it in the 18-yard box, but again, the Gamecocks, some very promising passes so far into open space.
Absolutely, and that's where they're really letting their team speed and athleticism show.
Sure is. Revenlow wins that header. Critchlow goes up and over. Jonah Bagar comes all the way up to win the ball. And they will call a foul there on Winthrop for going over the top of the Gamecock player.
We were going to have words if that was called on the Gamecocks.
Yeah, going to be very interesting. Again, we've got about 31 minutes left here in this first half. Again, it's collegiate soccer works a little differently than it does elsewhere. So again, once the clock hits 0, that's all it's going to be here for half number 1. 2 45-minute halves that count down instead of up. It's a cool system, JP.
Yeah, it's certainly different. It's fun when college sports have their own quirks.
As Habel gets it in the box, saved by Killstrom, a double save. Wow, that was a good opportunity. As we were talking, Juice with a nice pass. Habel cutting all the way in from the midfield. He had one shot. Good save by Killstrom. And Ballack again there on the rebound, just didn't get enough on it. Killstrom with a nice double save there to keep this game knotted at 0.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how Jack Killstrom managed 31 saves in just 6 games last year. the attempts are going to be coming, especially after we've seen the generation from South Carolina. But I think they're going to be hard-pressed to get it by him. They're just going to have to keep peppering it on target.
And another Winthrop attack. Who else but Riverone Segreiro? He goes down to the box. Going to be a goal kick. You know, could have pleaded for a penalty there, but I think good no call is. Soccer doesn't get a ton of credit as being a physical game. You know, it's, you know, you talk about the diving, the flopping a lot more than you do, but good physical play when left uncalled. I think it's a lot of fun to watch.
I suppose. No, but we watched the Euros and Copa America over the summer, and I'll just leave what's unsaid be left there.
Well, Vistier did a good job to clear that one out as Winthrop almost had a good chance on goal as pressuring the goalie. It's worked out, and in his first start in the Gamecock yellow, you know, the goalies wear different colors, did a good job to just get that away. The Gamecocks win possession in their defensive third. Ballack does turn the ball over. So does Winthrop. It's back with the Gamecocks. This is Critchlow on the near line. It's going to be a foul on Velasquez Lopez. Pulled the jersey of Critchlow. It's a good call there. But again, Winthrop, they have had some threatening moments.
They have, and I think none more so than that. I mean, the Gamecocks with a turnover in their own third, right outside the box. And if it wasn't for just kind of an errant bounce off the foot of one of their players, that could have generated something very dangerous. Maybe the first real stopping opportunity of the game for South Carolina.
That's right. It's going to be Adamson on the free kick. He curls it in. Good header there from the Gamecocks. And it's a foul on Winthrop as Revenlow went down. Vistier's going to have it for a goal kick. But we've seen the Gamecocks been pretty good in the air so far. Good job defending those free kicks. There's one early in the game, one there. They've done a good job being the first in the air, reading it well, and not giving Winthrop, you know, an open header, and that's a really easy way to score.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, we're kind of seeing that philosophical difference in how these teams are approaching the game. Is, you know, Winthrop they're just trying to kind of get a bounce. South Carolina is really just trying to make things happen with their athleticism.
Yeah, South Carolina kind of just waiting for one to go in, you know. I mean, they've had some chances, just need to put it away. So they work it out of defense now. It's Velasquez Lopez on the near side. He plays it through, down to Ballack. He'll try and take on a defender here. Instead, he'll slow it down, get it back to Velasquez Lopez. Now Revenlow has it. He gets it out and playing with some width are the Gamecocks. I think that's smart. It's down to St. Just now on the far side. He curls one in, up in the air. Nice save there from Killstrom. The Gamecocks really just relentlessly pursuing this ball, especially in their own attacking third, just trying to win it back if they lose it. And they do there in the midfield. Revenlow over the head. Junior St. Just is in. He looks for another cross. He's taken down. They'll say a clean play. He blocks the clear. Kind of a scrum for the ball here on the Gamecocks attacking third. Winthrop are the team to come away with it. They'll try and move things forward. It's Kakatsu with it now. He gets it over to Adamson. Who'll play it down near side. Way too much on it. It goes out of play almost exactly at the halfway line. The Gamecocks regain possession. Again, some good passing.
Absolutely, and we're starting to see some roles develop with this team. I mean, on both ends of the ball, Kaketsu was very pesky there as a defender, managed to get a takeaway after South Carolina just kept getting the ball back. But then we're seeing guys like St. Just getting used to set up opportunities near the net. They're just firing it up in there and just kind of seeing what happens. It's kind of like in hockey when you have your defenseman just fire it from the blue line, hope for a deflection out in front.
That's right. He's kind of been playing that right midfielder role today as the Gamecocks do have three at the back. You know, it's a little hard to distinguish, but now we've got it's Spigar playing on the left side, Goldsworthy in the center, and Kowalski on the left. Spigar had to play that one instead of it coming out. It's going to be offsides there on Ethan Ballack. But anything to keep that ball in play. I don't think they'll be mad at that. It will be play stoppage here not play stoppage, but, you know, ball goes out of bounds. Of course, it's going to be a Winthrop goal kick on this one.
I think we're looking at a 4-3-3 formation for South Carolina here on the field. We got, you know, four guys up. You got your line of, yeah, there we go. Sorry, just shifted in front of our eyes. So the formations are a little
it is
unstructured here, I suppose.
Hey, we're just calling it like we see it. 26 minutes left in this first half. The Gamecocks have it in the midfield. They'll kick it back to the defense and just try and work it back forward. Spigar with it now on the near side. He finds Gabe Nickerson. Looking for Myring, who cuts in. It's a tackle on Critchlow, and they'll say it's a good one. He wins the ball back on a very physical challenge there. Winthrop again just kind of launches it down the field. That's Ferreira with it. Goldsworthy with a very physical challenge, and he wins it. Velasquez Lopez with it now. He'll play it through. It's Ballack with it. Chance on goal. Him versus Killstrom. Killstrom save. Myring with it. Kicks it off Ballack. He gets another chance. It's a goal for the Gamecocks. Harrison Myring, the first goal of the season. Gamecocks lead it 1-0 here.
Well, if they didn't score on that one, they probably weren't scoring the rest of the night. I mean, just a great opportunity there on the through pass. And then, you get the opportunity, you shoot it, it's blocked by the goalkeeper, which another great save by Killstrom one-on-one. And then you get the rebound chance, and you fire it right into your teammate. And then finally, on the third rebound chance, you find the back of the net. So South Carolina with an early goal. This is something they struggled to score early in games. They struggled to score just kind of period. This should be a huge kind of weight off the shoulders of this team. Meanwhile, for Winthrop, you're a similar team that is coming off of a season where you struggled to score, especially on the road. You're going to be looking for a good opportunity. This is where you enter the punch-counterpunch phase of the game.
Absolutely, and as you said it, for the Gamecocks, if they didn't score there, it was a matter of, well, we might not be able to score. I mean, it was a chance from Ballack. Great save from Killstrom. I mean, he's been good. He made a save, then made on another rebound shot. They kicked it off the back of Ballack, but luckily it didn't take too big of a bounce. Gamecocks were able to clean it up as they take a 1-0 lead with 25 left here in half number one. And it is Myring, just to confirm. I thought I messed it up for a second, but it was Myring the whole time. His first goal of the season. The man from Leicester, England. There's a lot of foreign players on the field today, and it's, really is a global game, and it's made its way all the way to Columbia, South Carolina. Pretty cool to see.
Yes, absolutely. But, I mean, there are still some players from the Palmetto State. You got Jonah Bigar, who's from Greer, South Carolina, and Sonny Quintanilla, who's from Beaufort.
It's very cool. I mean, and there was Killstrom with a long goal kick. Again, they're trying to get him behind the Gamecocks, who aren't, as we've talked about, they don't have too many defenders, so they're trying to get him behind them, use their speed, and, it's a little bit tougher for Winthrop because if the longer the game was 0-0, the better you felt about the game, because one moment of lapse of concentration from the Gamecocks and you could try and score and hold it at 0-0, but the Gamecocks, they look pretty relentless as St. Just has it on the far touchline. Candia clears, but it's Micah Habel reclaims it, works it into the attacking third. Velasquez Lopez with it now. He shoots from the 18-yard box. It's over the head of Killstrom. It's a long-range goal from Lopez. What a shot.
That was fired, from about, 20, 25 yards out, just over the outstretched arms of Killstrom. That's just tough. There's not much you can do there. You're hoping for a defender to kind of get in the way of it before it kind of leaves the ground. And, that was just a perfect shot.
Sure was. We saw, Lopez doing some dribble moves, thought he was going to look for the pass, maybe another attacker cutting in behind, but he goes for the long shot, just curls it over the outstretched arm of Killstrom. That was a beautiful shot.
Hey,
it
doesn't get much better than that.
JP.
Yeah.
That's
and here was
just a great goal.
That's 2 goals in the stretch of just a little over a minute. And for a South Carolina team that, we've kind of hammered it home, they could not score last year. This is a team now, they are capable of scoring goals in this flurry. And now the hole just got a lot deeper for Winthrop.
It sure did. And for South Carolina, you're seeing that big yellow ball. You just want to keep sending it downfield. Let your offense do more work. Give yourself an even more comfortable lead and just keep pressing. So Winthrop, they might turn up the pursuit, and they sure do. They win the ball back, and they're attacking third. It's a long shot just over the top of the goal. Nice effort there from Diamario Adamson. That was from even longer than the goal from Velasquez Lopez, but just over the top crossbar. Goal kick.
That would have been a really early contender for goal of the year, given that it is opening night. If Diamario Anderson could have hit that, that would have been a perfect response for the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
But, just getting a chance like that, you have to feel a lot better if you're Winthrop.
You sure do, and their best chances have come either with that long pass that gets over the head of the Gamecock defense or when they pressure the goalie and try and win the ball back here in their own attacking third. Myring strips a defender. Gamecocks have possession on that far side. Him and St. Juste have been a real force to be reckoned with out there. Got about 22 minutes and 50 seconds here left in half one. Very close to being exactly halfway done with it, but 2-0 the Gamecocks lead. That was a big tackle. And it's, we'll see what card he gets here. Going to be a yellow card there on Junior St. Juste.
Well, you know, you look into it, and that's another thing that South Carolina struggled with last year. They attained 47 yellow cards over the course of last season, which was tied for 17th most in the country. And their first of 2024 comes on a pretty physical play there on that far third over by the facility, right in front of the College Cup, you know, kind of banner for the women's team.
That's right. And just went in a little bit too hard there to Juste. And, you know, probably a good effort, but don't want to go racking up too many yellow cards, especially in a game against Winthrop. You know, you've got a 2-goal lead. Don't need to do anything too crazy. Nice cross there from Winthrop, but a good block. St. Juste there.
Making up for it.
Sure does. Velasquez Lopez in pursuit of the long ball will force Candia to clear it, and the Gamecocks want to throw, and they'll take it quickly. Back to Lopez. He's got it on the far side. Working it in. Myring, he's in back. Tries to get it around Killstrom, but good job as he came off his line there. So it looked like Winthrop just kind of misplayed that one. You know, it was a slide tackle to try and stop the pass and just missed everything.
Like you said, that was a mental lapse that a team like Winthrop just can't afford to have, and they got lucky there that Killstrom has kind of, you know, zeroed himself back in after allowing those 2 goals.
Sure has. Gamecocks win possession again. Nickerson has it. It's now to Habel in the midfield. And that's going to be a yellow card. Yep, thought so. It's Jacob James there. Micah Habel went down, but he is a little slow to get up, but he does get back up.
Well, this is a great time to mention that Winthrop also struggled with yellow cards last year as they attained 41 over the course of last season, tied for 45th most in the country. The things that these teams were both good at last season are the things you don't want to be good at.
You're looking for some improvement. The man who just got tackled, though, Micah Habel, the team's leading assist leader last year with 3, played in 14 games as a true freshman, starting 13 of those appearances, so crucial part coming back. Lopez curls in a free kick. Lindstrom clears it. Out of play, it is going to be a foul. Winthrop free kick, unsure, a little hard to see, you know, when they all get clumped together, but.
Well, the ref didn't really make a signal. So, what do you do?
Yeah, very, very hard to see. Zimba has it. He plays it back to Candia.
That one is sent up towards us, almost.
And, you know, sometimes that's what you got to do with all this pressure the Gamecocks are applying. It's better to just kick it out of bounds than give them maybe a free shot on goal. Throw in Gamecocks. Nickerson finds Habel. He gets it up to Myring. He'll hold up play. Come back near side. It's Velasquez Lopez. Already a goal in the night. Looking for a little bit more. Jonah Bagar has it. He'll send it. Switch sides all the way over to Kowalski. Back to Goldsworthy now. This defensive line is all the way pushed up to the midfield. You know, they're just really all balled in on the attack. And, of course, it ebbs and flows, but playing with that much confidence. So Winthrop did intercept the ball, but couldn't quite control it. It goes out of bounds for a throw, and we've got about 20 minutes left here in half number 1. The Gamecocks have a 2-0 lead. And it's going to be a throw in. As Junior St. Juste has it. We'll give it off to Kowalski.
I think our friends across the pond would like you to say 2-0, Spencer.
What? You know what? I'll do that for him. It is 2-0. St. Juste wins the header. Myring has it now on the far side in the attacking third. Makes a nice move, but just lost control a little. Was looking for that in-swinging cross to a man in the box.
Well, you know, and he ended up with a nice pass to the photographer. They're on the goal line. That's got to be a nice little angle there.
You know, photographer's wearing garnet, but he's not in play today, so nothing quite doing as the Gamecocks win back possession. Winthrop been a little sloppy in this back third as of late. Myring will swing in across. Nice clearance there. Someone rocketed off the head of Sam Pigeon.
Yeah, I know. You know, Pigeon, not someone we've really kind of said the name of tonight. We haven't really said the name of many Winthrop players tonight. It's really been Killstrom, which if you're a goalkeeper, I'm sure that's not exactly what you want to hear.
He's performed pretty well. You know, got to give him a lot of credit. The Gamecocks, I think, could have more goals than they do.
Yeah.
He wasn't back there making plays.
For Winthrop, somebody I think I'd like to see be a little bit more assertive is Critchlow. He was really active early on in the game, and we just haven't heard from much of him today since the early onset of this match.
It's a little bit of a scrum for the ball in the box. It goes all the way out to St. Just. And they'll launch it right back in. Zimba, nice header. Tries to get it to your man Critchlow, who makes a nice dribble move. And Winthrop, maybe with a chance here. Still trying to take on a defender. Not a great pass there as he was looking for Perrone, Segurero, but just a little miscommunication there. Now Goldsworthy has it in defense, and they'll just slow down the play, get it back to Vistier, who hasn't recorded a save on the night because, frankly, the one shot Winthrop, the one shot, that was really good from Adamson, went over the bar, and he wouldn't have got a finger to it.
Oh. Our first soccer incident of the game.
I think that one, Velasquez Lopez, maybe a little bit of a high cleat there. Maybe hit you where you didn't want to be hit, JP. That's what it's looking like. So walk off, kind of give a little hunched over look. Can't blame him. That one's, you know what that feels like.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll ever, look into cups for soccer.
Might be a little hard to run, but yeah, you certainly could be right.
Well, if we can do it in the other football.
That's I won't count you out there, as there is going to be some substitutions for Winthrop. Jacob James, the man who's just shaken up a little bit, comes off for Rodrigo Ferreira. And number 15, Lindo Zimba comes in. Hey, just 1 second, I'll get it for you. Bernardo Pacheco.
You're seeing us at our best, people.
Exactly. Usually I can do this behind, not with the camera on us, but you
nice
got to look at me and JP. So.
A nice little view of the action.
But our voices will have to do for today. But Rodrigo Ferreira, the leading assist leader on this team last year, and his brother Ricardo Ferreira was the returning goal leader, points leader, and shots leader. Haven't heard much from him all game long.
No, we haven't. And they tried that high kick again. It's almost like a punt. It's like we're watching Iowa.
Has it. They work it into the box. Here's a shot. Nice block there from Goldsworthy, and then another one from St. Just. Good defense there from the Gamecocks. And again, Vistier doesn't even have to work.
Yeah, no, I mean, the guys in front of him are doing it all. It's a great life as a goalkeeper when things aren't even coming close enough to get to you. What I'm wondering is that kick that got deflected up into the bush over there on the far end is gone. So I wonder who went and got that and how often they have to do that.
A brave soul, I tell you what.
Yeah, it's a windy night. Who knows? That ladder might have been rickety.
A corner for Winthrop, just not enough on it. It's an easy clearance from Habel. Winthrop still has possession. They get it over to Limba. Nice sliding clearance from Ethan Ballack. That is a great play to kind of reset the possession. Winthrop will try and just send it all the way back in. Vistier, good job coming off his line. He controls it in his own box. Goal kick for the Gamecocks. Under 17 minutes left now in half number 1. Tony Annan, it's pretty cool in soccer. You get to shout some in-game instructions. He's in his little coach's box down here, and very pleased. We've seen lots of clapping from him tonight, and I think 2-0 lead. They're just looking to capitalize. It's a ball all the way down to Meiring. He's taken down. It is going to be a card here. We'll see if it's yellow or red. Oh, it's red.
Uh-oh.
That one's bad. Diego Candia's night is done. And he was taken down. How about that pass from Philip Vist here? Launched it all the way from goal, took one bounce. It was over the head of the defense. Meiring taken down in the box. That's no good. Just outside the box, so it's going to be a free kick. Not a penalty, but prime opportunity.
I think you can definitely argue that should have been a penalty shot, but that's another thing Winthrop struggled with last year. They're tied for 8th in the country in red cards, awarded with 4 last season.
Yeah, that's really something you don't want to be a part of, because again, red cards, winning a game with a man down is incredibly hard in soccer. It's much easier to just attack that point. And it's tough. That was, Candia was their most central defender. I thought he played pretty well tonight, JP.
I did too. I mean, if you're a defender, you don't really want to hear your name called very much, because that means you're doing your job and you're not getting schooled. But there he did. And,
it's one of those plays where you kind of have to make it because you don't want to leave your goalkeeper out to dry. You see it a lot in hockey. As much as I'll try to not continuously refer to the sport I normally broadcast.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, we'll still be there. Don't for all our SGTV fans out there. Don't.
Easter egg.
That's right. 16:35 left. Velasquez Lopez steps up. He tries to curl it in. Killstrom, easy save there, but just not enough on that to be too dangerous. And sometimes when the free kick is that close, it's a little bit hard to put enough power on it.
Yeah, so you got to get kind of like finesse with it, like maybe a old like curve ball, or as we have a volleyball match breaking out.
It's always fun
center.
when it's, they just completely stop using their feet and it's just a bit of a header battle. But Winthrop eventually has possession, so they'll just pass it around back. Adamson has it, and good pass there. Otherwise, he would have given the Gamecock a one-on-one with Killstrom. So they try and work it forward down that far side, but it just goes out of play. Throw in for South Carolina. Again, they lead 2-0. And now Winthrop's down a man, and doesn't get any easier, JP.
No, it does not. As Killstrom already with 7 saves on the 9 shots on goal, and like we said, the Gamecocks a team that really did not kind of get shots on goal as much as they would have liked last season. They were 125th in the country in shots on goal per game. They're already well on their way there.
They are, and it's a long through ball played from Jonah Bagar. Makes Limba work for it. He does a nice job getting it away, but it's over to St. Just. He has it. Shot with the left foot. Save, Killstrom. It's a classic move there. Someone playing out on the wing, cut into your inside foot. Pretty good shot, but better save from Killstrom, and trying to just keep it a 2-0 game, and hopefully his attack can do something for him, but it's going to be even harder with one less player on the field as Myring, physical play, takes it over from Critchlow. He has it now on the left side. Tries for a cross, but he will win a corner kick. Nice play from Harrison Myring.
Yeah, no, I mean, he just completely dominated Critchlow there. That was a very physical play. Knocked him off the ball. It was very legal, which is important. Dislodged him from the ball. Was able to force the turnover. Got the Gamecocks out and running, and now they have a corner kick.
That's exactly what you got to do. Got to get out and running. And they've done a good job kind of turning their defense into offense, if you will.
Absolutely, as Cocky's out here right in front of us, hyping up the crowd as his corner kick will be underway.
Velasquez Lopez hits it on the ground this time to Habel. He has it. Nice move. Maybe frees himself up for a shot. Nope, it's going to be a pass. Lopez with it now in the box. He's stripped of it. Nothing doing. A nice play there from Sam Pigeon. Going to be a foul on Habel there.
That could be very well a case of trying to be a little too unselfish. You set yourself up, you have a nice opportunity, but you're like, oh, I'll make that extra pass, and you do, and it just doesn't materialize anything.
Yeah, he completely had the defender fooled. Maybe an open long shot, but again, scoring from that range. It's happened once tonight, but it's not terribly often you see that. So Winthrop again plays this long ball. Goldsworthy comes to meet it with a big header, and they'll send it back up to the midfield for the Gamecocks. Nickerson has it now. He gets it to Velasquez Lopez, back to Bagar. All the way over to Goldsworthy back in central defense. The Gamecocks, they'll just work it around and find their moment.
Yep, I mean, you're playing with a 2-0 lead. You just got to look at me there using the terminology. But, you just don't do anything stupid. Set yourself up for a nice opportunity as the first half draws to a close.
And just keep pressing, really. You've had all the momentum and a ton of good moments, so I think they'll do just that. So Winthrop, a nice interception there, but again, they just seems like they win back possession, turn it right over. But again, as soon as I say that, Kowalski kind of skies a pass. It goes out of play, and Winthrop is back with possession. It's a throw, and Critchlow gets it in, but the Gamecocks immediately, 2-man press on that. Trying to make the Golden Eagles make a mistake. Good dribbling there from Riverone Segurero. Limba has it. He has it taken away from Ethan Ballack. It's one-on-one with the defender. Left-footed shot. It's good into the bottom right corner. What a move there from Ethan Ballack. Did a great job just taking it from Lindo Zimba. Then the left-footed finish right past Killstrom. How about it?
That's Ethan Ballack's the name we said a lot tonight. And he has really kind of stood out. The transfer from Virginia Tech, a Virginia Tech team that, was about just as good as South Carolina was last year. And he's making the jump from the ACC to the Sun Belt.
and he's making himself known here in Game 1 of 2024 for South Carolina as a 3-0 lead is opened up here in the first.
Sure has an easy little field goal here at Stone Stadium. And, 3 goals, 3 separate players, but this whole offense has been clicking on all cylinders so far tonight. And Ballack, he was a guy that maybe should have scored earlier, had some great chances, but he finally gets one to go his way. Just calm, cool, collected, the left-footed roller into the bottom right corner. That's a nice play.
Absolutely, and as this first half winds to a close, if you're just now joining us, these goals have been scored
at 19:34 into the game by Harrison Myring. Then 20 minutes and 52 seconds into the game by Alejandro Velasquez Lopez. And this one, 32 minutes and 33 seconds into the half by Ethan Ballack to get us to this 3-0 lead.
Yeah, there was a little header there from Tony Anand on a ball that was going out of bounds. And he just headed it too far into play, but showing off a little former soccer skill there. As Winthrop now has possession, it's Ferreira with it. He gets it to his brother, and they play it out left to Kaketsu. Going to work it back into Adamson. It's deflected. It's Ballack. Just loses control of it, as that would have been a nice break for him, but Winthrop going to try and work it forward. A nice stop there from Kowalski. A good play. Winthrop wins it back. Just like that, they lose it. Referee will play advantage, so it is a foul, but Velasquez Lopez gets it to Myring in the midfield. It's going to be offside. That was Myring. That was Ballack with the pass. Myring just went a bit too early. Otherwise, he would have been through on goal looking for a second.
And, you hear a lot, I think, especially every time there's a big-time international tournament, that people don't exactly agree with the offside rule. And I think you can count me in that camp. I think it's way too restrictive. It's one thing in hockey. But, stuff like that, I just don't see anything wrong with it. Maybe Winthrop should just be better at getting back. But that's my 2 cents.
I respect it. The game's a lot older than we are, so can't exactly ask the founder of soccer why why the offside rule's a thing. But I'll tell you what, it certainly has its, we don't exactly have VAR here, at least not tonight, so definitely a lot less complaints than usual. I know that's much more controversial. It's a throw-in as the Gamecocks have it in the midfield. They'll escape some pressure as it's Kowalski with it now on the far side. He gets it up to St. Just. Will take on Kaketsu. Just kicks it a little too far out in front of himself. A nice play there. But again, pressuring the goalie. Killstrom stays cool under pressure, but passes it right to Micah Habel. The Gamecocks have been really good at making these Winthrop defenders make mistakes.
Yeah, and Winthrop just hasn't been able to afford any kind of slip-up. And as the goals have piled up for South Carolina, they're just starting to mount more and more.
Sure are, and again, losing Candia to a red card is huge because now you're a man down. It's 11 v 10, and it's not exactly where you want to be as Myring tries to take on Kaketsu on the far side. And they'll call a foul on him. Winthrop win a free kick. 9:20 left here in half number 1. Gamecocks again have a 3-0 lead. And it looks like they're just going to keep trying to add to it.
Absolutely. You got to keep the foot on the gas pedal, at least towards the end of this first half. As you press, maybe Winthrop will make a mistake, and you can lead to a pretty devastating fourth goal.
3 is already
in 45 minutes.
pretty devastating. But again, never say never. But it's a nice pass there from Winthrop as they will, just look to build some momentum, maybe get one back here in the first half. That would be huge for them. Some nice moves. This is now Ricardo Ferreira with it. Gets it to Critchlow. Zimba has it now. He has to go all the way back to Killstrom. And again, the Gamecocks just forcing them to they have nowhere else to go but back sometimes. And it's a tough game for Winthrop.
Yeah, it's starting to look like Winthrop is the nail. But, with 8:23 to go in this first half, maybe they can get something going. Kaketsu has been very, very strong for them. But he's really been the only one who's tried anything offensively.
I would say him and Riverone Segura, the only two guys to get back in.
Ever since those kind of initial flurries where they tried those high arcing passes up over the heads of the Gamecocks, they just haven't been able to get anything going. Even if they force a turnover, they immediately relinquish possession back to the Gamecocks.
Jonah Bagara has it now. Nickerson, he'll whip in across from good 40 yards out. Kaketsu good job to control that. If he let that one get by him, it was St. Just with a wide open attack there on the back side of the net. Winthrop has it now in the midfield. It's Ferreira. He gets it over to Adamson, who'll actually just let it roll to Critchlow. Up to Riverone Segreiro. We'll see if he tries to take on Bagar. He doesn't. Goes back to Critchlow. Adamson now, 7.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Adamson just played to the far side into Sam Pigeon. So Winthrop just trying to work it forward. It's Kiketsu now with it. Try a little 1-2 play, but actually they'll work it back inside. Ferreira has it. He'll try a shot from distance. Well wide there as Vestier was ready for that, and got to credit him for that.
Yeah, and we mentioned it, and Winthrop responded. They had a nice position there that didn't end in a shot on goal, but as close as they've come in a while. And for Winthrop, it was nice to see them approach a possession in the attacking third with a sense of urgency, but they weren't pressing too hard because they knew all you need is one goal before the break, and you're just 2 goals back, and you can get that in 45 minutes. It's all about the mindset.
Absolutely. And that was Rodrigo Ferreira. And again, it's not of course, I think at this point, Winthrop willing to try it, but that long shot from over 25 yards out is really not consistent offense. So trying to work it in a little bit closer could be a good idea for them as the Gamecocks are right back on the attack. Ballack has it now on the near side. He takes on Adamson, just loses control. So it goes out of play for a Winthrop throw-in.
There was a little collision there on the line there by Anderson and Ballack. But it seems there are no hard feelings.
Winthrop will just kick it out of bounds, so it's going to be another throw-in, this time for the Gamecocks from near the same spot, and it's in the attacking third, which is where they've lived all night.
Yeah, we'll get some stats here for the offensive zone time, I presume. But
it's going to be high.
Yeah, it does seem like South Carolina has set up a permanent residence here in the attacking third.
And again, you can tell with how far up their defense is playing that their offense,
they feel very confident.
That's right. Their forwards are almost in the 18-yard box when Winthrop has the ball, and that's just a crazy sentence. It's the Gamecocks, kind of a scrub back and forth there for the ball. They come out with it. Kowalski has it.
Goldsworthy turned into a human torpedo there to head that ball back in.
Yeah, he's a big guy, so whenever he gets his body into it, he can really launch it. And we are at 5:05 left in half number 1. It's turned over. Ballack has it. 1-on-1. He slots it in. His second goal of the night just under the arm of Kihlstrom.
Well, for Winthrop, the one thing you couldn't afford was a sloppy play in your own end, leading to a great opportunity for someone who's already scored. Good thing they didn't do that.
Oh, wait. They did.
They did.
And the Gamecocks take advantage. It's Ethan Ballack again, a man who's put his fingerprints all over this game to where if it was a crime scene, it would be pretty shut and dry. That's
sure
maybe the worst analogy I've ever made at a sporting event. But,
if there's one thing we're well equipped for, it's talking during blowouts, as we've seen a lot of those on the
we've seen a couple 9-1 hockey
Yeah,
games, some ones you might want back and regret in the parking lot, but it's all love and it's a lot of fun here. Ballack there just taking advantage of this Winthrop defense, and really it's just a bad pass. Ballack with such an easy interception, and then Winthrop, they're playing so far back, they've got nowhere to go. It's already a one-on-one. Yeah, exactly. It's perfectly said. They're literally.
And for our viewers who can't see, this is just, really kind of taking the air out of the sails of Winthrop. Their players look, hands on the hips. They're jogging. They're kind of looking at each other, hands up in the air. It's a tough scene. This is a scene where you can kind of tell you, like, if South Carolina gets another one here before the end of the half, it could get tragic.
And, it's already at a kind of a breaking point for Winthrop, where if they don't get one back soon, you can almost do everything but write this one up. But Winthrop just, at this point, I think you just kind of
put the horse blinders on. Scoreboard doesn't matter here. You just got to chip away one goal at a time.
But for South Carolina, what a start. I mean, your first game of the season, a much anticipated season, a make or break season. And it's gotten off to about as good a start as you can imagine.
Yeah, we're going to get a medical timeout for Riverone Segreiro. Might have hurt his arm there. Not sure what's up, but it looks like he's in some pain.
That could be insult to injury for Winthrop after they.
You know, one of their best players, and again, he's still down, maybe holding his wrist or something, so hoping he's okay, but still down. And he finally gets back up, so again, really hoping he's okay, but still shaken up. But as I was saying, if you're Winthrop, I think, you know, just no need to play, you know, so far back. You got to do everything you can to try and score and get back in this one, because sitting back has not helped you in this one. You know, they'll look to try and move forward. Critchlow has it. Wins a tough fought ball there as Ferreira tried the through pass, nothing doing, and the Gamecocks still looking composed at the back end, and it's a foul on Rodrigo Ferreira on Ethan Ballack. It's going to be a free kick for the Gamecocks, and got to feel like now it's going to be their turn to try and get one. I was about to say get one back. That's what Winthrop's trying to do, and they're just trying to add another one, make it 5-0 here in the first half. Again, already it's 4-0, 3:10 left here in half number one. We still got 45 minutes of action here after halftime, all Gamecocks tonight.
Yeah, maybe they'll institute a running clock. I mean, as compared to how much this clock normally runs in general.
But maybe a gentleman's agreement between the two head coaches.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see some substitutions for the Gamecocks. We see a lot of younger guys get some time as Velasquez Lopez has it. Nice move to get past Riverone Segreiro, too. He jumps over him, gets the ball through. Great tackle there from Lindo Zimba as that one would have sent, I believe that's Harrison Myring through as he would have looked for his second goal. The sliding effort. So that was big time. Micah Habel with it now. He'll look to whip it across with the left foot. He sure does. Nothing doing. Pigeon receives it and does a good job doing so. It's up to Riverone Segreiro. He's got a man in front. Actually, nutmegs Revelin. Nice move there. And he'll play it to the far side to Kiketsu. That's a nice play to buy your team some time to get forward with you and some space for Winthrop when really they haven't had any in quite some time.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a good opportunity for Winthrop. I mean, the guy who's really kind of, well.
You know, it was a nice switch ball header there, just trying to work it into the box. But again, the Gamecocks look very calm, easygoing, and there was no Golden Eagle there.
No, there was not.
Adamson has it now. He'll try to nutmeg. Velasquez Lopez, nothing doing there. As big questionable as he had his teammate right next to him. It's going to be a through ball from Habel here. Nickerson was calling for it, and he's got plenty of space to run into it, and he's got two men in the box. Nickerson has it. Good tackle there from Winthrop to allow everybody to get back. It's still going to be a Gamecocks corner, but again, 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Gamecocks have a good chance of getting their fifth here, and Ethan Ballack's on hat trick alert, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I mean, with over a minute left in the half, there's plenty of time for South Carolina.
Sure is. Again, it's been all them all game long. Looking to add to it even more. Velasquez Lopez is on it. He's taken, I believe, all the corners tonight, at least from this side. He'll whip it in. It's a clean header, but good job from Winthrop to kind of steer it away as that ball gets popped up. Ferreira controls it on the near line.
And,
he just loses control. I mean, he just gets absolutely swarmed from white jerseys.
Apologies if our microphones picked up the language from the hooligans standing up in front of us.
Unfortunately, can't really control that one.
No, you know, unless we have, prodders.
But again, of course, apologize. Couldn't quite hear what they said, but that might be for the best. St. Just has it now. He'll try and work it in. There's 10 seconds left in the half. And it does very much work like a shot clock in basketball instead of a traditional extra time. Gamecocks, Ethan Ballack will just fire one. It goes wide of net. And at halftime, JP, all Gamecocks, they lead it 4-0. We've seen 2 goals from Ethan Ballack, one from Alejandro Velasquez Lopez and one from Harrison Myring. I mean, this team is just clicking on every aspect of the game right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely what you wanted to see from a team that, we kind of haven't said it enough. This is a South Carolina team that was offensively impaired last season. And to come out here, put on tons of shots on goal, and more shots on goal in one half than you averaged a game last season, scoring. South Carolina averaged 4.75 shots per game last season. They have 4 goals here in the first half.
And 13 shots. I mean,
It's
they're
been,
really
a
getting
nice
after
change
it.
of pace compared to, of course, for Winthrop, tough start. Got 45 minutes to scrap and claw and fight your way back into this one. You saw good things. There's some guys, but you're just going to have to dig deep, look into the eyes of the guy next to you and just kind of believe.
And of course for Winthrop, this is a big team. South Carolina is still a much bigger school. You would expect South Carolina, I think, to have most of the advantages. So Winthrop maybe just looking to build on something going forward. We'll see if they can do that. We'll see if the Gamecocks can score even more goals in the second half. We'll be back. I'm checking the halftime clock. We'll be back in about 14 minutes for all the second half action. Thanks for sticking with us here on Student Gamecock Television. Again, I'm Spencer Ball. He's JP Barry. See you in a few. And we're back here for the second half action right here at Stone Stadium. The Gamecocks lead 4-0 over Winthrop. And JP, it's been all Gamecocks all game.
Yes, it has. I mean, 4 goals. We'll kind of, tell you the story of the game as action gets underway here in the second half. And no, folks, your TV is not undergoing some horrific, graphic error. That's just the lights flashing as Sandstorm plays the Gamecocks onto the pitch for the second half.
Of course. And, the Gamecocks will, of course, start with the ball since Winthrop started with it earlier. And JP, as JP said, we'll dive into some statistics we got at the half for what exactly is going on. But I promise you, it has not been in the favor of the team in maroon. It's for the team in white and garnet tonight.
Yeah, no, for Winthrop, the game started kind of how you want. They got some nice opportunities. They were just kind of surprising the Gamecocks. And then once South Carolina kind of figured out that the bag of tricks was about as deep as the level of rain we get usually here in Columbia, at least this time of year, it
didn't go much
quickly.
further than a little
Yes.
pocket. It wasn't it's been a simple game for the Gamecocks, and really it's been all offense. But just to throw some numbers at you as they'll just pass it around the back, the Gamecocks had 14 shots in the first half, 12 of them on goal. So they're making Killstrom work really hard, and he has. He has 8 saves, which is a huge number.
Oh, yeah, and 7 of them came from Ethan Ballack, who scored 2 goals in that first half, and he had an assist on another one. He has just been, I think, currently the biggest star of this game for South Carolina.
Easily.
The Virginia Tech transfer.
He's picked up 5 points in 45 minutes. That is outrageous, and just a huge credit to him. And, the Gamecocks looks like they're going to keep up this high pressure here in the second half as Winthrop already back at it, just running around kind of in their own defensive end.
Yeah, and for Winthrop, you're going to want to spend more time in the attacking third than you did all of that first half. They spent just 22% of play in their own attacking third. Meanwhile, for South Carolina, they spent over 30% of time in the attacking third. It shows on the scoreboard, shows on the stat sheet. South Carolina with 10 more shots per game, or 10 more shots in this game than they had per game a season ago.
And one thing to note, Winthrop has 5 shots tonight, not a single one on goal. So they have not been making Vestier work at all back there. Again, really, he's had some good timing plays where he'll come out and collect the ball, but not really on shots. And we're going to see some new players here for the Gamecocks. And, that sure wouldn't surprise me a bit, JP, is work in some new guys, especially when you've got a 4-0 lead. So that was Bryce Griffith who had the ball. He missed all of last season with an injury, but looks like he's back and looking to do something out on this right wing.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Winthrop right now, like we just saw, the body language is not where you want it to be right now. They had a turnover in their own zone, and the guy just, he threw up his hands and lackadaisically kind of jogged onto defense. And, if you're the coach and you see that, and this is your first opportunity in the game in a blowout, what are you doing here, man?
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see. It's about building momentum. It's Gabriel Atienza's first time in the game, the defender. Makes a nice pass forward and a nice pass there from Micah Habel. Sends Bryce Griffith through. He'll curls in across, but a good play there from Critchlow to stop the attack.
And Critchlow, he's a guy for Winthrop. If you're going to get back in this game, you're going to have to look to him. You're going to have to look to Kakatsu, as well as Reguero. And those were the players that really kind of stood out in the first half of the ones that weren't ejected with the red card.
Absolutely, and the players that stood out last season, really, the Ferreira brothers, one of them's leading goal scorer, the other leads the team in assists, but kind of been nowhere to be found so far tonight.
No, they've been no-shows.
And you got to credit South Carolina. Because,
absolutely.
It's, of course,
South Carolina has adjusted on defense and completely shut down what Winthrop was trying to do. And it's shown especially in how the Gamecocks are set up on the pitch with so many guys playing up, and Winthrop is just playing very passive. They've lost a lot of their fervor from the first half, where they were kind of trying to dump it over South Carolina's head and get out and run. They're not doing that anymore.
They're really not. And, for them, you got to think maybe that's not the effective strategy then, and I'm sure they're tired. You're playing a man down, having to run all the way, all around the place with South Carolina's relentless pursuit. But it's been the errors at the back, I think, have been really hurting Winthrop. South Carolina, that constant, pursuit of the ball, just being right in front of goal, made the right passes, taking a lot of really good shots, and that's why they lead at 4-0. It's going to be a long through ball over to Micah Habel. He's got it on the near side. Just keeps it in with a cross, but it's regained by Sam Pigeon. Kaketsu now kind of trapped in his corner, kicks it off Bryce Griffith. A nice play there to keep possession and buy some space.
Yeah, absolutely, as they're going to try and just keep it in here.
Winthrop, building a little momentum here. It's Ferreira with it. He gets it out to the side. There's Critchlow, kind of the right back, playing forward. He'll look for his man. He's running down the far line. He gets it to him. Looking to swing it across here. Goes up and over the goal, out of play for a goal kick. For Winthrop, that's promising. I mean, that's something you haven't seen in quite a while. And granted, there really was nowhere on the other end of that, but you'll take it.
The ability to move the ball vertically up the pitch is something that they just hadn't been able to do for literally, I think, the final 35 minutes of the first half. And you got 40 minutes here to go. You just got to, get back to that. You got to just one goal at a time. Don't look at it as you're like, oh, my God, we have to score 4 goals.
It's a 0-0 ball game. That's
it's a new half.
Mindset.
Yep. It's all about the mindset when you're the underdog team coming on the road here.
Hey, we get it.
Yeah, hey.
That's I'm sure they do. They're the collegiate athletes. We're the collegiate talkers. So it's the Gamecocks. Ball's deflected out of bounds. It was Nickerson who'd worked all the way into the box there. Critchlow, good deflection. But it will be a corner for South Carolina, their first of the second half.
There is a change in the goalkeeping spot for Winthrop. Jack Kilstrom is out of the game. It's Andres Manzano Garcia, number 31, in net for Winthrop. Kilstrom, he didn't have a bad. I mean, he allowed 4 goals, so it's hard to say he had a good half. But with the amount of shots he faced, I thought he proved pretty admirable. And some of those goals, he got left out to dry.
Absolutely. Again, 8 saves. He did allow 4 goals, but I think he did his best. South Carolina did just a second ago fire a shot way above goal, so goal kick for Winthrop. But again, he did his best, and he might not being pulled for a bad performance. It could just be, let's get
save your guy.
Yeah. And also, let's
don't
get
take his
stats.
stats.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that could be one thing there, as Kaketsu has it now on the near side. Big bright spot for this team, I think we could both agree on.
He has been just, I think, kind of he's really who has stuck out for Winthrop here in this game. Just someone he showed relentless effort. He's been all over the field. He is, he's a senior, transfer from Bethel University, but he hails from Yokohama, Japan.
It's very cool. That's a big, long journey to Rock Hill, South Carolina.
But guess what? Hey, I bet where he's from in Japan, it doesn't have a Lee's Famous Chicken, which they got in Rock Hill, the last location in South Carolina.
And only JP would know that
Oh,
outside of Rock Hill natives.
I loved me some Lee's chicken when it was in Spartanburg.
That's right. Well, may the Spartanburg location rest in peace, but we've got Rock Hill soccer team here, and of course they're looking to get on the board here, and if anything, just find some momentum to build on. And Big South opponents are going to be a lot easier than the Gamecocks in the Sun Belt as they win possession. It's going to be worked into the box. That was Velasquez Lopez. Winthrop does a good job to recover, but again, just high pressure from the Gamecocks, and they want to keep scoring.
Yeah, and like you mentioned with the Big South, I mean, this is a Winthrop team that isn't shy about winning in the Big South. They have 6 Big South tournament titles as my highlighter goes flying.
I got you.
They got 6 Big South tournament titles, although their most recent one came in 2015 when they defeated High Point in penalty kicks. And they haven't been to the tournament since that season. But they did make it to the second round of the NCAA tournament in 2012, where they similarly defeated Southern Methodist University, now a member of the ACC, in penalty kicks. And all of their conference titles in the Big South have been since the turn of the 21st century. And so this is a Winthrop team that has, for a school in Rock Hill playing soccer in South Carolina.
Yep.
I don't think that's a history to be, ashamed of.
Not at all. And Daniel Ridenauer, the current head coach, he's in his 9th year. He was an assistant coach for all those big runs into the tournament. He's seen the success that this team can have, trying to build that program back up to kind of its glory days. And again, it might not start here in Columbia, but it's a long season.
Absolutely, and it's really a marathon. And for a sport that involves so much running, that makes sense.
Sure is. It's going to be Micah Habel. He goes down, and it's a foul committed. Get that name for you. Hold on.
Yeah, it's dark up here, folks.
So it's Bernardo Pacheco committing the foul there. It's going to be a free kick for the Gamecocks in their final third. Velasquez Lopez This was one more. Gabe Nickerson are going to step up to the ball. We'll see if they go for who steps up to take it. It's going to be Lopez. Nickerson runs out right. It's swung in. Nice header there from Winthrop. Got up early and got that one away. But again, the Gamecocks still with possession. They're going to take their time. Griffith has it now. He gets it over to Lopez. Again, might try and swing it across with that right foot. Griffith fakes the cross himself. And they'll work it all the way back out. This time it's back to Atienza in the defensive end. He gets it over to Revenlow. So Gamecocks will just kind of, draw it back. Try and work it forward once more. It's over to Velasquez Lopez. He's got it now. He launches the ball into the box. Nice play there from Pigeon to get a hold of that one and not let it through.
Absolutely. Speaking of Velasquez Lopez, one of our goal scorers here is we'll give you our scoring summary if you're just now tuning in. In the first half, 19 minutes and 34 seconds into the game, it was Harrison Myring with an assist from Ethan Ballack. 20 minutes and 52 seconds into the half, it was Alejandro Velasquez Lopez. 32 minutes and 33 seconds in, it was Ethan Ballack, his first, and then 39 minutes and 58 seconds into the half, it was Ballack's second to get us to this 4-0 score we're at now.
Velasquez Lopez on that corner kick. There was a foul, so it's going to be a goal kick for Winthrop. But you're absolutely right. It's been a team effort. And a lot of guys doing a lot of really good things. And people we haven't exactly talked about a lot tonight, which you mentioned earlier, is probably a good thing. South Carolina defense has been great. They've done a really good job of, again, this year, he's got the best job in the house, maybe other than us tonight. He's really just hanging out in goal, and it's been made easy on him, and he's got to credit his defense for that.
I mean, once again, Winthrop has not even had a shot on goal yet, so he hasn't even had to make a save. But South Carolina's defense, it's just up on them. I mean, it's like they're running the full court press, but on a massive grass field.
That's right, and Atienza there with a beautiful sliding challenge to stop a big Winthrop attack as they'll launch one into the box. Pacheco has it. They'll kind of head it around a bit. Hable settles it down, and Griffiths has it. He'll just clear it out long, and that's just a nice play from him, stopping the Winthrop attack. And Garcia kicks it back. It's an open net. It's going to be shot on goal, and it's in. The Gamecocks score after a huge error from the Winthrop keeper. And that's going to be a substitute.
I mean, just what a blunder.
It's Martin Shaia. I mean, what a goal from him. I mean, great job to stay composed there. Had to get his name. But I tell you what, a nice left-footed finish after a great pass from Bryce Griffiths. Looked like a clearance. But I tell you what, Andres Garcia is going to want that one back.
Yes, he is. And you're a senior, and you're making a very unsenior-like mistake there as he tried to meet.
I mean, he probably came out a good 35, 40 yards out of
He
net.
was closer to the midfield line than he was his own box, and he tried to just smother it there. And wow, I mean,
well, he had the. He did make it to the ball, so I don't think the decision was necessarily wrong.
But the way he went about.
I mean, he literally got the ball and just tapped it right to Shaia, and of course he's going to make you pay for that because.
And there was nothing.
The goalie.
There was nothing Winthrop's
net.
defenders. I mean, they tried as they might. It was just a perfectly placed shot for the fifth goal here. As we're about 12 minutes into this one in Columbia, and it's really starting to get out of hand.
It sure is. 5-0 the Gamecocks lead, and we're going to see even some more substitutions here in a moment for the team in white, the home team. As again, the Gamecocks still a pretty good crowd. A lot of people left at halftime. The freshmen get their points so they can try and get good football seats. But I tell you what, this team they do have quite a good following here, and love to see the students rally around them. The Gamecocks lose possession in the midfield. It's Adamson, and he's been pretty solid tonight as well for Winthrop.
Although, especially, as the sun has gone down, that breeze has stayed, and it's turned into a very cool night. Little do those students know that those points are only going to get them tickets for when we play like Old Dominion. Our non-conference schedule of Old Dominion, Akron, and Wofford.
Thrilling.
Tune into Ball Don't Lie to hear our full opinions on just what a disgrace that whole thing is, along with the fact that the Gamecock football team doesn't play Florida, Tennessee, or Georgia this season. I digress.
It doesn't feel quite right, but I tell you what, everything's going right for the Gamecock team on Stone Stadium's field tonight. It's going to be a throw-in.
If they can get the ball back
Winthrop.
from the fans.
We'll see if they'll allow the substitutions yet or if it's going to be the next dead ball. They're going to clock them in first, I think, before they actually happen. Kaketsu has it. So it's going to be Ted Cargill coming in.
Gabe Nickerson subbing out for South Carolina, along with number 6, Micah Habel. Habel with a nice night, and Nickerson also.
A very skilled night defensively. In terms of who's going in for Carolina, it could be, a myriad of their new players.
Don't worry, I've got it. It's going to be Ted Cargill as well. Give me 1 second. It's going to be Mika Kolodny as well. So there you go. Took me a moment. We've got to dig through our paperwork a little bit in the dark here, but I tell you what, we finally found it with 31 minutes left in half number 2. The Gamecocks lead at 5-0. And right now, JP, it looks like they might be able to bring on me and you, and we might be able to keep this lead intact.
Well, that's very true. Although my knees aren't really built for much running nowadays.
It's going to be a foul on Winthrop as Kolodny, after, immediately being subbed on, makes a great tackle and kind of got held in the neck there. He got a little clothesline, but he's all good. And
the dark side of the force was in play there. It was like a forced choke.
It's cross ball in. It's Ethan Ballack in the box. Shot. It's blocked. Up and out of play. And, you got to think the reason Ballack is still in this game, he's looking for number 3, isn't he?
Yeah, not many people in attendance with hats. I'm not even sure if that's something you really do in
we allowed
soccer.
to throw the headset down there? Does that count?
I feel like our viewers would be very confused.
As well as, our operations director, Tyler Perrone.
Oh, he would march up here, and I don't think you would ever see us again.
Good friend of the show. Our camera would go off quite quickly, and you'd just be left to guess. Lopez swings this one in. Atienza gets his head to it. Nice save there from Garcia. It's the first kind of really successful corner kick from the Gamecocks. They finally get ahead to it. It was the defender, Gabriel Atienza, but Garcia with a nice save and a bit of a redemption play for him, getting his feet under him in goal. Got to feel good.
Yeah, that first save is everything, and then, once you get that, you can kind of settle in. Carolina up to 17 shots on the game, but Kaketsu with a nice play there.
Sure does. Pacheco loses it. It's Revenlow. It's a tackle. Revenlow goes down, and Pacheco's still standing over him, much to the...
I don't think Pacheco really understands the gravity of the situation. If he could just direct his attention a little bit up and to the right and to that scoreboard right there, I think that would really kind of set things into perspective for number 13 in maroon and yellow.
Yeah, I probably should have gotten off Revenlow, I think, before questioning the official about the call. I think, might have been a little bit more sportsmanly, but I don't think he meant any ill will by it. But I tell you what, this crowd there, they sure didn't like it.
No, the Carolina fans are rowdy.
That's right. Doesn't matter what sport. Tell you what, Gamecocks just going to pass it around back here. We're under the 30-minute mark, left in half number 2. Kolodny has it now down this near side wing. Makes a run, tries to nutmeg Kaketsu. Doesn't, but kicked it off him hard enough for it to go out of bounds, and he'll win a throw-in.
Yeah, a great defensive play there by Kaketsu to avoid, one of the more humiliating ways to get schooled in soccer.
Well, you also just would have been beat, would have been a free cross if he did get by him, so good job from him. And now it's him winning a throw-in after Ballack took an unfortunate bounce off his leg. It's Revenlow, nice physical challenge. He wins it back. And the Gamecocks going to look to attack even a little bit more. We've got number 16, Grant Mateer, at the substitution table. Not sure who he's coming out for, but, doesn't surprise me, JP. We talked about it at the half, about getting some more guys involved, getting great time to get playing time, and again, trying to add to this lead is Pacheco with an errant pass. Gamecocks will take advantage of that. They'll lift one over the top. No trouble as Garcia claims that one in the goalie box. Excuse me, the 18-yard box.
Yeah, and, I think he kind of anticipated that one maybe bouncing a little bit more. He was getting ready to jump for it and then just kind of rested nicely into his gloves.
That's a nice play there from Cargill. He gets it up. He'll send it forward to Lopez. Good tackle there. That was Pigeon on the tackle. This ball goes all the way back to Vestier. Looks like Velasquez Lopez is down, maybe with a potential cramp, but he might be the man to come off here soon. And a smart play there They call, you can see Coach Hannon calling for that ball to just be sent all the way down the field. Velasquez Lopez still not completely up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most relatable thing about this game so far. Cramp out, running around out here in this Columbia summer.
Tell you what, it'd get us too. Well, again, we don't necessarily do the most running, but.
But a great game for Velasquez Lopez so far. I mean,
and I think that's going to do it for his night. Grant Mateer is going to replace him, but what a night. His goal, arguably the best of the night, that curving shot from about 20 yards out with the left foot over the head of Killstrom. It's our second goal of the night, and I tell you what,
that one really
might just
set
be
the
most
tone.
memorable. Yeah,
it set the. I mean, because it's one of those, like, what are you even going to do if you're the goalie? And really, I mean, a lot of that has carried over into the rest of this game. It's a story of a team with a lot more talent than the other. It's got nothing to do with the heart of who's involved.
Yeah,
some guys have played really hard for Winthrop tonight, but at the end of the day, if this is what you're saying about the performance of a team, the scoreboard is not very kind.
I think you're right, and you would have needed a Premier League goalkeeper to maybe save that shot. It was really nice, and Killstrom been pretty good on the day, but that one just beat him as it was nice curving strike. Winthrop with a little momentum. Kaketsu, their first shot on goal. Vistier still awake back in net and makes a nice save as Winthrop kind of attacking out of nowhere there.
You think if they dropped prime Tim Howard from that World Cup run onto a college soccer team, would he let in a goal all year?
He was the best goalie in the world.
So. I mean, for like
in that
one
commercial,
game
they had him up
Belgium.
against the aliens.
Yeah, what was it, 14 saves in the game against Belgium? It was about the great hope the U.S. had. And
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. It hasn't been great, but new coach. We can mention
that's
that. I
true.
mean, maybe some Pochettino coming to town.
They'll still beat Mexico 2-0 anyway.
Well,
No matter who's the coach.
there's always that. So, again, the Gamecocks have a 5-0 lead. 25 minutes left. The Golden Eagles have just had their first shot on goal, but there's a nice save from Vistier to steer it away. Adamson shoots. It's deflected out for a corner. Couldn't tell if he just mishit that one or if it did take a deflection.
I think it was off the
Sure
right
was.
foot of a Gamecock player. Winthrop, a team not very well accustomed to the corner. They don't tend to get a lot of corner kicks per game. So it's interesting to see what strategy they go with here.
Yeah, only their second. They will play it short and just keep it low to the ground. I think that's smart against a team like South Carolina. There is a foul there, so it's going to be a free kick for Winthrop. But, again, you don't want to test the Gamecocks in the air. They're just bigger.
Winthrop's gotten called for a lot of fouls in situations like that where they try to go up high and they try to get under a Gamecock or go over them for the leverage. We got a lot of subs coming in for Winthrop, so it'll be a changing of the guard.
Shots whipped in, and Winthrop is going to get one back, it looks like. We'll see if that goal's going to stand. It should. Sure does. Was waiting to see if there was an offside call as all that action
I think it
happened
was
on the
Kaketsu.
backside. We are hearing Kaketsu. I mean, is it going to surprise you at all? I mean, that's
No.
been their main guy all night long. 24 minutes and 11 seconds left. The Golden Eagles finally get one back. And a big credit to them. I mean, that was a really nice play. And Vistier, heck of a save on that first attempt. I mean, that was a diving save. Just got the left paw to it. Couldn't quite get it.
And now a huge changing of the guard for Winthrop as Emery Critchlow, Sodai Kaketsu, and Diamaro Adamson are all subbing out, as well as number 21, who I just missed out on.
And coming in, Suhong Jung, Jake Gussler. It's going to be Caleb Bennett. There was one more we'll keep our eye on for you.
But
I believe it was Caleb Swinson, actually.
it's nice
21.
to see those guys go out with a goal. I mean, those were really kind of the high effort, nose for the ball types. I really noticed tonight for Winthrop. They played really hard, and Kaketsu managed to get off a nice rebound chance. Finally found the back of the net.
Yeah, I mean, huge credit to him. He's been, again, I think their best player without question so far in tonight's game. It's got to feel good. He finally gets something to go as he's kind of been their lone offensive spark. But with him coming out on substitution in the last 23 minutes and 15 seconds, you got to kind of question what the Golden Eagles are going to do. Jung has it now here on the near line.
Well, what I think
Gladney
they're
in
going to do is
pursuit.
wave the white flag, Spencer.
Well, again, but, trying to build a little something going forward. Pacheco has it. Back to Jung. He plays it up to Gussler.
That did not seem like a pass that was intended for Pacheco, but that was a nice play by him to avoid disaster
That would have been a brutal turnover in their own end.
Absolutely right. They work it back. It's a long ball. Kolodny fields it with his chest, but again, bounces to a Winthrop player. Jung has it now in the attacking third. On that left wing, we'll see if he whips one in. Goes to Ferreira. And just like that, Winthrop is working backwards. This Gamecocks just relentless after that ball. Nice move there, 1-2. Back to Gussler after a great dribble from him. Pacheco has it now. He'll work it far side.
They'll bring it back out.
They sure will, and I mean, you know, it's like they have a nice move or two, but just can't quite break that final barrier into the attacking third in the last couple minutes. It's going to be a switch ball played. Kolodny there, but Jung wins the header. Just up there and physical. That's a big play from him. Him and Gussler working the 1-2. Kolodny trips him up, but bit of a soft foul there.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's been a physical game, and that's that got played in very quickly.
Sure did, off the head of Pacheco, but it was a nice kind of flick on with his head, but there's no one behind him if there was. Could have been trouble for the Gamecocks, but again, they hold a 5-1 lead. 21.5 to go here. And Vistier just plays it out slowly to Cargill. It's up to Revenlow. And they're just kind of moving it slow out of the back, going to build up this attack. And again, it's proved fruitful for him tonight. Tienza with it. He'll switch it all the way over to the far side. It's played in behind. Nice pass. Someone's in back. Shot on goal. It's a goal. What a play there from the Gamecocks. So that's Grant Mateer with the goal on a beautiful, beautiful assist.
I mean, you have the outlet pass. Pardon my basketball term there. I mean, a great pass, arcing through the air, got down there. Then you had, you know, 2 men to beat, and you beat him, set up a great goal with a great pass through the wickets. And, you know, South Carolina gets it right back here with 21 minutes to go in this game.
That was Martin Shia. Great pass there. Finished off from Grant Mateer. I mean, that's just a nice 1-2 play there. It's a ball played in from the left back position up in the air. Nice header and just in on goal. There was no Winthrop defender back, and he was beaten. It was a great run from the Gamecocks, and they tack on their 6th goal here in half number 2.
Yeah, their second goal of the second half. And, you know, right when Winthrop gets one and they're starting to press, they're starting to generate good chances, South Carolina comes right back and you know, kind of puts this one into perspective.
It's going to be turned over again. Shot on goal. Good save from Garcia. I believe that was Ballack looking for his hat trick there. Garcia. Nice job as Jung has it now. I really like Jung's play for Winthrop since he's been subbed in. He was subbed in kind of on this near side, that left wing position. I tell you what, he's been everywhere making a lot of plays as Winthrop move it forward down this far side wing. And they'll cross one in. Easily defended from the Gamecocks. They still have possession. Nice dribble. Shot on goal. Not on goal, excuse me.
And here,
well wide.
here Camden Kowalski is going to sub in for the Gamecocks for Jonah Bigar. And so, well, now we have more subs coming over to the scorer's table, I believe.
Sure right. It's going to be Einar Ness coming in. That's an attacker. And
you know you've hit a rough patch in a soccer game where the subs are getting subbed out for other subs.
that's right. Kieran Karp is also going to enter this game. Took us a second to get all those names and numbers. You know, we're still working here. But going to be a lot of overlap here. We expected this at halftime, getting a lot of guys in. And why wouldn't you up 6-1 with under 20 now left to go? It's going to be Bigar playing another ball back in behind to Kolodny. Great touch there to control that one. He takes on a defender, gets around Jung. In the box now. Great move. Left-footed shot. Great save from Garcia. What a move there from Kolodny. That was just individual brilliance.
Yes, it was, and there was even almost a chance on the rebound there to hammer it home to really kind of punctuate this one, put the PAT on this touchdown as we hit under 20 minutes to go.
South Carolina, I mean, this one has just been dominant. You know, going into this, they dominated the pace of play. They had, you know, almost the entirety in terms of possession in the attacking third. But shockingly enough, going into this half, Winthrop had more total possession, but they just weren't doing enough with it.
Well, and also I think a lot of that was they were kind of on the run.
Yeah.
They were in their own defense, just passing it back and forth. And when that resulted in them turning it over, it proved fatal. And one thing to note, saw Ethan Ballack about to come off. Coach told him stay out there. He's looking for his third goal as that one cleared away from Jung. A good job from him. Kolodny, good sliding challenge to get that away from Gussler. And they win it back. It's Kowalski. He plays it in. It's going to be not swung in by Ness, but he wins it against Kolodny. Gonna be a foul, but very close to being a.
As we just heard there, that this is the first time that South Carolina has scored 6 goals in a game since April of 2021, which was when they played soccer season in the fall or in the winter in the COVID year. So it's been a while.
That's good math there. I was just gonna say, you know, that's a long time, but it's, you know,
It's even longer time in the terms of seasons because then they turn around and play another season in the fall.
That's right. And I tell you what, this team looks really good today. Again, you know, every aspect of the game, I think they've been really solid, looking to get some of the younger guys even more. Not to say that the starters aren't young, but, you know, get even some more of maybe not the regular players. You know, give them some reps out here, and even they look good.
Especially for these young guys. I mean, this is their first opportunity at the Division I level playing soccer. And, you know, you get sick of playing against the same your teammates, guys wearing the same jersey as you. You get sick of that over the course of the offseason. You get that first opportunity against somebody else. And they're really making that opportunity theirs.
It's a great pass there from Ness. He had a through ball into Ballack.
That ball almost left the stadium.
Yeah, it's a great sliding tackle to not allow him to get a shot off. Otherwise, he could have been looking for his third. We've talked about it a lot tonight, but again, Ethan Ballack has just been everywhere. Ball swung in. Going to be cleared away by Winthrop, but the Gamecocks still have it. It's Kowalski now on the near side. Got to think they're just going to, again, just work it nice, slow back in, and just find the pass. They've just been able to kind of unravel this Winthrop defense very methodically tonight.
Absolutely, and you know they're at 20 shots in the game right now, which is nearly 4 times as many as they would have per game a season ago. And I just can't hammer that home enough. That, I mean, this is just a great opportunity. This is a great showcase, I think, to what the Gamecocks are trying to do this year compared to last.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, Micah Kolodny, whenever he gets the ball at his feet, it's must-see TV. I mean, that was an excellent move to get by Jung and win the team a corner. He's been fantastic. It's played in low. It's going to be Cargill, a long shot. Garcia saves it. That one struck with a big pace
As
there.
this is going to be the end of the night for Ethan Ballack as he's being subbed out. Number 20 at the scorer's table for South Carolina. That would be Valdella Grazia. You know, a great night for Ballack. He scored 2 tremendous goals, assist on another.
Hey, no dead ball yet.
That's true. You know, he's got his chance.
He's got the ball now in the midfield. He'll come forward with it. Looks like he's about to take on the entire team.
Oh, I think they should
and
give
he
him
will
a
get
penalty
tackled.
kick.
Let him shoot the free kick from 50 yards, Coach.
You just got to,
Well,
get it lined up.
I was going to say someone just fired the ball, but they called for the substitution first. Is going to be Ethan Ballack, as you said. Valdella Grazia coming in.
Yeah.
What a night for that young man, and I mean, I got to feel like he's going to be one of the guys you look to going forward.
Oh, yeah, no, he seems to be kind of the star right now, you know, as someone who can just go out there and generate offense around him, setting up other guys, generating chances for everybody, including himself, as he exits to a much-deserved applause and water break and sitting down.
Absolutely. You know, 3 good things for a guy that put up 2 goals and an assist in 45 minutes of play. Just excellent work from him. Gamecocks, again, still lead at 6-1. We're under the 15-minute mark left in half number 2. No call a foul there on Cargill there.
The clock still keeps running.
Yeah, not a lot doing on the foul again. Just stop the ball, but Winthrop does turn it away. It's going to be Villagracia with it now. He'll play it up. A nice run there on the far side of the pitch. He goes for the nutmeg again, and that was Griffiths looking to maybe swing the ball in, just couldn't quite do it. Pass goes out of bounds. Gamecocks still retain possession. It's going to be a throw-in for them. In the attacking third on that very far side, they'll just throw it back. Try and play the ball into the midfield. They sure do. It's Karp with it now. He has it, sends it down to Colodny. Let's see what he does. He crosses one in. Looking for Delagrazia. Couldn't quite find him, but Gamecocks retain possession after a bad clearance. Going to be rifled in. Ness has it now in the box after it's blocked down. He fires, blocked again. Going to win the ball back. Gamecocks look to still have it. They sure do after it's cleared away. Swung out now to Colodny. He's got it over to Karp. Karp tries to float across in. Little too much mustard on it. Goes out of bounds. 13-10 left in half number 2.
Ends up hitting the accolade wall for the women's soccer team, as they have,
quite a lengthy list of conference titles and Instant League tournament appearances.
Something that South Carolina, like I said, in our pregame, is going to look to try to get back to. They've made the tournament 22 times, but haven't since 2016. They've had such a great history, and right now they're having such a great start. So who's to say that they can't get back? But we'll get some more discussion on the national college scene as this game winds down. There's still well over 12 minutes left.
Absolutely, and while you were telling us a little bit about the women's team, Logan Story came on for Rodrigo Ferreira. Guy from Huntersville, North Carolina. That might mean nothing to some of y'all, but right down the road from me, so a little, shout out the Carolinas, I guess.
Yeah, the Carolinas becoming quite a soccer hotbed as of late.
I tell you what, you're
Charlotte
dead
FC, owned by notorious fraud.
Whoa.
Don't worry.
As a Panthers fan, it's,
we
we
I've
have
heard,
our moments.
I've
but
heard bad things about the way Charlotte FC's been run, but we'll keep that down.
Yeah, we sure will. You can't complain about how the team is. Charlotte FC, they've been pretty successful, and I tell you what they've been.
Selling out
Popular.
games.
Oh, my goodness. That place is a hotbed. And, again, the Charlotte soccer scene is really prevalent as Charlotte Soccer Academies around there, Lake Norman Charter, a lot of talent around there. And Logan Story, a guy from Langtree Charter right down the road.
Yeah, I best be
Doesn't
careful,
surprise me.
or else David Tepper will show up and throw a drink at me like he did at the Jaguars game last year.
You really wouldn't want that.
No, especially wearing this headset. But that means we could get reimbursed, I suppose.
So the Gamecocks have it down the far side, able to keep it in. It's Delagrazia. What a move as he'll look to cross it in now. Just in front of goal. Goes out of play. Did it take a deflection?
It did. I think it did. That was almost perfectly set up. He was there down the goal line. He just fired it. Centering pass, looking for a deflection. They got one, but it was a little bit wide. I mean, that was almost probably that might have been the nicest goal of the game if it had found the back of the net.
Yeah, it was an excellent move from Delagrazia there. Made the defender completely got him with that kind of step-over move, and then worked it back to the left foot. Good job from Winthrop to keep it out of the net. Cross swung in. Gamecocks still have it. It's Griffiths. He fires with the left. Garcia saves. And ever since that one mistake, I think he's been pretty good in goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think that woke him up.
Yeah, for sure.
You have those moments. It's like in football or the other football when you're waiting for that first hit to get the butterflies out. It just so happened that Garcia's first hit was a pretty brutal goal to allow.
Oh, a nice pass there from Ness. Just nothing doing there as Grant Mateer just put a little too much on the through ball to him, but Winthrop will take over. It's going to be a goal kick exactly, well, now under. I forgot the clock doesn't stop. 10 minutes left. 6-1, the Gamecocks do have a big lead here. Maybe looking to add one more on it, make it a little touchdown. Other football terms, gotta bring it up. It's been all them all game long.
Yep. And, as we hit the winding moments of this game, we can start to touch on the road ahead for South Carolina. On Sunday, they take on North Florida. We'll be here for that, of course. And then next week, #1 Clemson comes to town. I'm sure this place will be rocking for that. The Tigers have turned into one of the great powers of college soccer, both men's and women's.
And if they bring the same crowd they brought tonight to that one, I mean, of course it's going to be a big game. And
I expect there to be droves of people lined everywhere. I hope there are people hanging in the trees out there to
I tell you what,
watch with binoculars.
I watched a game from, right in front of the bushes. It was stacked about 3 or 4 people deep, and it was Clemson. I believe it was Clemson women's soccer versus Gamecock women's soccer. It was a lot of fun. And I tell you what, it was rocking. Super loud. It does get loud here at Stone Stadium, and I'm sure you could hear it a little bit more earlier. Some fans have definitely cleared out in the 6-1 drudgeoning right now as Winthrop does win the ball back in the attacking third. It's Pacheco with it. He finds his man in the midfield, but they will call a foul there. So that was Ryan Armijo that went down.
Normally, another thing we touched on the opening was, to those maybe not so familiar with college soccer, especially men's college soccer, is that the idea of South Carolina being in the Sun Belt. But the Sun Belt, great conference. The Gamecocks picked to finish 6th in the preseason. But all
and
the
of
teams
course, when you hear that, you think like 6th, like it's the Sun Belt. But,
exactly.
I mean, I tell you what, JP, tell us a little bit about those teams that are ranked ahead of them.
Well, you start off with the team that the preseason picked to win the Sun Belt, number 8, Marshall, in the coaches poll. They had 8 first-place votes in the Sun Belt preseason poll. Then behind them, you have a team ranked higher than them in the coaches poll, with number 3, West Virginia, who got 2 first-place votes, along with number 19, Central Florida. Then you have Kentucky, who was receiving votes in the coaches poll, picked to finish 4th, and then number 18, James Madison. So every team ranked ahead of South Carolina in that Sun Belt preseason poll, either ranked in the top 20 or receiving votes in the entire top 25 in the coaches poll. Then you have South Carolina, and behind the Gamecocks, Georgia State, Old Dominion, Coastal Carolina, and Georgia Southern. But one thing those teams below South Carolina had that the Gamecocks didn't, the Gamecocks did not have anybody picked onto the preseason All-Sun Belt team by the coaches. So a huge chip on the shoulder of all the players for South Carolina, I think, going into this season. And they've responded. I mean, they've shown out in this first game.
That ball's turned over. It's going to be shot. Nice kick save there from Garcia. Good shot from Karen Karp. It's going to be a foul on the Gamecocks. Winthrop will retain possession. 7 minutes left in half 2. And the Gamecocks lead at 6-1. But again, as you were saying, JP, chip on the shoulder mentality. But you know what that reminds me of? It's another Gamecock sporting team last year that, predicted to finish tail end of the SEC. It's the Gamecock men's basketball. Those guys seem to really carry that into the season. You saw the season that
they're
they
another
had.
team that was built through the portal.
That's right. And you saw kind of what that did to the team. You have a constant fire lit under you the whole year long. And again, it's not like South Carolina was picked at the bottom of the Sun Belt, but again, no individual recognitions. These guys they're gonna want to, get their name in the conversation for next year and have a really good showing in the Sun Belt this season. Gamecocks do win a throw in their own defensive end, a long throw all the way out to Ness up front. And they've still got it. Surprised that no foul call there from Logan Stories. He kind of just took down Grant Mateer, but Winthrop, after a bit of a scrum, have possession now. Jung just took it a little too hard, kicked it out of bounds. Gamecocks ball here. Colodny throws it out to his left side. It'll go all the way back to the steering goal. They'll pass it around the defense a bit. Long switch ball played over to Colodny. It'll bounce in front of Jung. Colodny's there. Jung, good job to get his foot to it and just play it up in the air, buy himself some time. And Winthrop regains the ball here. Garcia has it now in net. He passes it to his defenseman. It's cleared Ness just missed it on that interception. Would have had a one-on-one with the keeper. Pass all the way up front to the striker. He's taken down there.
As we hit under 5 to go here, going back to that coaches poll a little bit, some familiar names in this top 25 in the Sun Belt. We mentioned how many ranked teams they had, but the ACC really reigning king, especially after this next line of conference realignment. You got Clemson as number 1, Notre Dame as number 2, the Stanford Cardinal, the North Carolina Tar Heels, Southern Methodist, Virginia, Wake Forest, Duke, Louisville, all in the top 25, as well as Syracuse.
And one thing I guess I didn't realize, the history of men's soccer, the one title game South Carolina went to, it was an ACC team, Virginia, going on a 4-peat
Oh, yes.
And,
No,
I mean, they were
the
absolutely
Wahoos are
dominant.
very, very skilled at this whole soccer thing, and they remain so. What I'm most interested in is that West Virginia was very good last year. And they enter the season ranked number 3, but they're not picked to win the Sun Belt. Their rival out in Huntington, West Virginia, the Marshall Thunder and Herd are. So that's a very fun storyline to follow, across this season as we enter conference play. The first matchup between those two will be just very entertaining. But hey, they also have to come here and deal with the Gamecocks in Columbia or at home.
And I tell you what, that is something you just never want to do. Is Mateer has it in the midfield. He gets the ball taken from him. Again, we're about 3.5 minutes left, but I think it's going to be very interesting. The Gamecocks lost a handful of one-goal games to those top 25 teams. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can come out on top this year. And right now, again, we know that it's Winthrop, but, you've got this one. You've got North Florida serve as excellent. I don't want to say tune-ups because, it's any given day kind of sport. But, again, before Clemson comes to town, you want to be looking as sharp as you can as Winthrop fires that ball into the whatever building that is out there in South Carolina, wins a throw-in.
Yeah, we've entered the part where it's just, outside of the lights, you can't really see beyond the confines of this stadium.
Sure can't. Colony has it near side. He's been a really fun player to watch in this second half, taking players on, getting a lot of good crosses in. Be interesting to see if he gets anything else. William Nielsen has it now. Central defenseman, played a lot for this team last year. Really solid player. He has it again as Cargill gets it back to him. 2.5 minutes left now. Karp has it. Near side touchline. Colony now. He gets it up just, actually perfect amount on that. Didn't look like he was going to get there for Mateer, but sure did. Colony has it now. And they're going to call that offsides. Mateer touched it a little too quickly before getting back onside. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left. JP, what can we take away from this one, man? What have you liked from the Gamecocks?
I've liked just about everything. Outside of the lone goal, which was really kind of just like a scrum out in front where the ball leaked out and they were able to hammer it home after a third rebound opportunity. The Gamecocks have played pretty flawlessly. They've been suffocating on the defensive end. They've dominated possession in the offensive third. They've made some excellent passes. Not too many bad turnovers or, some early season rust you'd expect, like, oh, he's just barely missed that or he was just out in front. This team looks very in sync. They're playing well together, even with some combinations of starters and subs. And so it really speaks to their preparation, I think. But for Winthrop, they're going to have to rebound. They'll go back and they'll, maybe play a more even game in terms of the talent discrepancy. But this is something you can learn from, You deal with this, it's all about how you respond.
It sure is. We'll talk a little bit more about the game after it concludes, but again, South Carolina, it's been all them. They lead 6-1. That ball's going to be put in from Cargill, but deflected. Nice block from the Eagle defender. Gamecocks still have it, though. Kowalski sends it to the far side. Just passing it around. Griffiths has it. We're under a minute now in half number 2. Pass into the midfield is Cargill. He gets it to Karp to his right. Fake pass. Nice move there. Colony with lots of space. He chips across in. Open header. It's a goal. It's going to be their 7th of the night. It's Einar Ness with it. And JP, there's the extra point.
Yeah, wow. Just what a performance by South Carolina. But what a job right there to set that one up. You had some nice passing. You had some great patience, as well as, the skill to kind of head it in perfectly so, it bounced down, not only up and over the goaltender, but just out of reach of him as well.
It's a guy on the assist that we talked about a lot. It's Micah Colony chipped in the cross there, and that's, I think, what got Winthrop. He had a lot of driven ones. That one more up in the air allowed the Gamecocks
they caught him leaning.
And the Gamecocks were just able to settle under it. So Ness had plenty of time, tucked it bottom right. Nothing Garcia could do. He's left out a little bit to dry from his defense. 7-1 Gamecocks. How about it, JP?
Yeah, with just under 40 seconds to go here in this game, that should just about do it.
Sure will. Winthrop might try and put something together as they win a throw-in. 25 seconds left. Of course, right after the game, we'll talk to you a little bit more about it. And we've got a lot of people to thank. I do know that part.
Yeah, no, that is true. This has been...
That might last longer than the post-game show because, again, this one got out of hand as Cargill has it now. He'll hold up play and gets kind of football tackled, but he's held backed up. I was going to say, well, let's not just run him over there.
Good sportsmanship.
Time will stop. Gussler again.
Well, I mean, what a brutal time for time to stop with 3 seconds left, you know?
Cargill fires it at goal. It goes over the top, and that will do it. The buzzer sounds, and the first game of the 2024 regular season for the Gamecock men's soccer goes their way by a score of 7-1. We just talked about it, JP. This team seemed to do no wrong today. The one goal, you know, it came off a double save and a rebound. You're okay giving that up, especially when you already have five in your favor. 7-1. Gamecocks win it. JP, got anything else to say?
I mean, not much. I mean, we kind of spent the entire second half as a post-game show kind of congratulating who played well. You know, in terms of game
Just
players,
talking about,
you know, players to watch. You know, big shout out to guys like Kaketsu for Winthrop. They played very well.
Absolutely.
They played really hard. Who was your player of the game for South Carolina?
For me, I mean,
feel like there's a right answer
it's got to
here.
be Ethan Malik, doesn't it? I
There
mean,
we
2
go.
goals and an assist. He had a couple good chances. You know, if it weren't for some good saves from Garcia there in the second half, he probably would have had 3. So I think you got to credit him. He was everywhere in that first half. I mean, just 6 shots on goal in the first half, 2 goals himself, 1 assist. I mean, that's incredible stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming that was the correct
Oh
answer.
yeah, no,
Okay,
yeah.
thank
You won the prize,
You know that.
which I think you know it.
Yeah, the prize is coming back on Sunday.
Yep.
Got a game against North Florida's 3 p.m. unless I'm not mistaken. I believe that's correct. I mean, it's going to be another fun one. And again, it's another match before Clemson. You've got one more chance to really tune your skills against another
But
team
don't
that
get
isn't
caught looking
yourself.
ahead.
Absolutely not. You know, you still got to come out and beat North Florida, and I'm sure that's the goal. But again, you got to, you know, I mean, the atmosphere could be brewing a little bit for this next week's matchup. And again, I think it's going to be about do us for
Yep.
Soccer talk.
As we kind of unfurl our CVS receipt of thank yous.
We sure do. Again, big thanks to SGTV for going out and pursuing this opportunity for us, letting us, you know, we're so grateful for giving us this opportunity, at least for the first game. You'll probably see a lot more of me and JP throughout the season. But, of course, we'd also like to thank our guy, Brett Williams. Did a lot. And, yeah, SGTV legend, if you didn't know, currently our staff advisor. But a huge shout-out to him for, you know, helping us kind of get this for the organization. It's a great opportunity. Big shout-out to Brad Mueller.
Sports announcing legend.
Absolutely. You know, he's always had our back. So a big shout-out to him. Big shout-out to the Sports Information Director, Brian Alden.
And
just so grateful for this opportunity.
And American hero Kevin Hull.
That's absolutely right. You know, the leader of kind of that whole sports media shebang going on in the J School. But again, and of course our station manager, Nick Hill. So I think.
And then our technical friends, Tyler
maybe see him
Perrone,
in the
Doug
background.
Andreuzzi, and Micah Rhoades for helping us get this whole shebang set up. It's been a pleasure. And I think I speak for Spencer when I say good night, Carolina.